This is Jared Haas with Frontstretch.com. Today joined with Brad Perez, who just qualified for his first ever Truck Series race, qualified for the 32nd position. Brad, I got to ask you, on Twitter, you're known as Brad Perez, and the nicknames usually have that interesting story behind it. How did Brad Perez come out?
So, the interesting part about that is I actually started off in high school. I have a non-Hispanic name. It's pretty obvious. Mm-hmm. And I grew up in a Hispanic neighborhood, and I went to a Hispanic, predominantly school. And I would go to Spanish class every time, and my Spanish teacher just could never spell my name right. She'd just be like, Brenly or Brenly, and none to her, but I was like, man, I hate getting my name spelled wrong. So I was like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shorten my name, 4 letters. Everybody knows who Brad Pitt is, so you can't get it wrong. So I went to the lunch line one day, and I went, got my order, put my name in, and then they called my name on the thing, and they said, Brad? I said, all right, that's my name now. Screw it.
That is a pretty interesting story of how that came to be. Like I said, you're Brad Perez on Twitter. And I want to ask another thing on Twitter, too. You've kind of been into sim racing and that, too. Kind of post quite a bit onto that. Like I said, you have quite a few followers that into that as well. How does sim racing help you become, like I said, a better driver, and how does it help you in this process?
It's huge. It's definitely something that I've had to balance with starting to do more real life stuff. As you know, I started racing in NR 2003 10, 15 years ago before I even had the chance to drive a real car. So having that kind of baseline and then moving on to real competition, part of it was having to unlearn bad habits that you get from NR and then having to learn new, better habits in real cars. But then coming to this track, especially after doing the Glen and after doing a lot of other racing, I've had a better understanding of real cars. So what the sim helped more this time was knowing the track, knowing my braking points, knowing that I need to shift in certain areas, that I don't need to shift in certain areas, and it definitely helped get me faster, quicker. Probably not enough to qualify 32nd, but yeah, it definitely helps.
You mentioned Watkins Glen too, and that was your first really stock car start too last season. You had brake problems that unfortunately cut your run short, but what did you learn from your ARCA start that you can bring forward to this as well? Like I said, we talked about sim racing, now we're talking about real life.
So I think the biggest thing was vision and understanding the gearboxes of these things, understanding just the little things about how stock cars feel in terms of on the sim, you know what it does, but you can't feel it. Here it's you can feel what it does. Obviously bar, we felt it today, the way the platform was all types of crazy, but definitely what helped that is racing, racecraft, being in the car, understanding the spotters, everything. I hadn't had a spotter in my whole life other than that start, so just little things.
Yeah, like I said, you had an unfortunate run, like I said, cut short. What are your expectations going into this weekend for this race here at COTA?
Well, first it was to make the show. I almost didn't, and I'm glad we did. That's number one, checked off. I am not nervous about this anymore at this point. We got what we got. We're gonna try to get the thing better. Just the whole point is if we finish the race, and that's if I don't break a transmission, that's if I don't wheel hop, kill a rear end, if I keep the brakes on it, all those little things. If I do that right, we should have we could probably finish 25th, maybe a little better than that. I want a top 20. It's in my heart, really want a top 20, but I'm just gonna give the best what the car can give me and make adjustments and keep going.
Well, I want to ask this question. If there's one driver that you would compare yourself right now, who would it be?
Well, it is hard. I feel like comparison's so bad, but today, really, I try to compare myself with Will Rogers. Me and him come from very similar racing backgrounds, and obviously we're in the same truck, pretty much sister trucks to each other. And I beat him on time. Got you. I beat him on time, and I can be happy. I can go to sleep tonight and be all right. I know that's a class driver. Really good. It's proven that he's good. Given good equipment any day of the week, he can go right up front. And if I can match what he does, I'm happy about that. So it's hard to compare yourself with anybody else that's not in your car. But all in all, I'm just trying to do better, and want to compare myself to me. I want to do better for me.
I kind of see yourself as a Ryan Vargas. He kind of got into the ride the same way too. He worked with the team with JD Motorsports. You've been in several teams in the last few years too, and that's how you kind of worked your way into NASCAR. And my last question with you is, do you have any future plans that's going into, like I said, for 2022 or beyond? Any ARCA races, truck races that you know, or?
So, like, just like I would have told you right before green flag at Atlanta, I have literally no idea what I'm doing next week. So, I circled this race on the map from the beginning of the year. Once I got approved after Watkinsville, I was like, okay, I want to run this. I want to run Mid-Ohio. I want to run Sonoma. I want to run Portland. I want to do that. I feel like that's what I'm good at the very least. So I'm trying to make it happen. Obviously, this weekend is very much dependent on if that will happen or not. But at least I want to be able to hone my skills better enough so that I can come to an opportunity to provide some value. Like we missed the mark today. I mean, I didn't make it in on speed, so that's. I don't feel like it puts much in my stock, but if I come home today or tomorrow with a clean truck and not having any problems, like, it might be a little better for me. It might help me out to get another ride in the future.
Well, that's Brad Perez. This is Jared Haas from Frontstretch.com. Thank you very much for taking this time, and have a great race tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Jared.